Okay, Skyler, we've made it to episode 80 now of Dimes on Duval. I want you to name 2 people who have worn 80 for the Jaguars.
Mike Thomas.
Mike Thomas. Wow, that's not the first one I thought you'd say, but okay, yeah.
And then Kyle Brady.
Yeah, all right.
Was Kyle Brady the first one?
That's the one I thought you were going to say first, yeah. Can
What
you
is
name
there?
Another one? There's only one of there's 2 names that are big names but weren't big with the Jaguars, and there's one guy that has changed his number since, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he changed his number, and I don't even know if he's on the team anymore. So there is somebody very recent. The 2 notable guys, one guy was on the team for only a year, the other guy was for a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Okay. Well, for some reason I was thinking Julius Thomas, but he's...
Yeah, that is correct, yeah.
Okay.
2015, 2016, Julius Thomas.
Is Jerry Porter a name?
Jerry Porter is the other one. Wow, good pull. And the last one is the recent one, O'Shaq Hennessy. James
I don't know. Probably wouldn't have thought of him, honestly.
Yeah. A couple others, Jeremy Ebert for 1 year, Isaac Smolko in 2007, and Willie Jackson was the first to don it back in 95 to 97. So good job. Nice job. Any other 80s that you care to mention? I don't really care about anybody else right now. I kind of like just making it kind of a Jags thing.
Yeah. I was trying to think NASCAR.
Has there even been any 80s? Besides 88 and Dale Jr.
With Dale Jarrett, too, at the same time.
And Dale Jarrett, yeah.
But no, I don't know.
I'm like racking through, like looking at, like picturing car sides right now. And I can't think of any, or if there has been, it's probably been that guy that started and parked anyway. So
I'm gonna I want to go to Games Galore on the beach in Hodges. Have you ever been there?
I have not. No.
They got used video games, but they got a couple copies of NASCAR 99 on the PlayStation 1. I'm gonna have to get one because it's got Dale Sr. on the cover, and then the back they picked like the perfect cars too. It's got like the Hot Wheels 44 car.
You gotta have the Hot Wheels 44, the Interstate Batteries 18, or the 5 of Terry Labonte in the Cornflakes car. The Tie 10.
I think it's got the Rainbow Warrior.
Rainbow Warrior, another iconic 90s car.
I also like the Havoline car. The 28 or 42, maybe sometimes. Like, it's just black.
The Texaco Havoline? Yeah. That's a good one, too. I like Mark Martin's Valvoline car.
Oh, yeah. The blue one. Okay, yeah.
The one with like
so
the
I'm
crazy
like
6 that's
branding.
like,
yeah,
like crooked.
I'm cross-branding some things, but yeah, there's Texaco and then there's Valvoline and then...
Yeah.
That was like the best era of NASCAR.
Absolutely.
Race cars.
By far. And that's talking NASCAR, since nobody else will even
This is the only time we do it.
Scott will understand.
There's no one censoring us right now.
As you can...
Mike can't yell at us.
Yeah, as you can already tell, Mike is not with us today, so... No chirping from him about how NASCAR's lame or something like that. So, yeah, I'm glad we got that in. Congrats to Joey Logano for winning it all. And not my first choice, but I know our friend of the podcast, Alex, is happy.
We'll try to hold off until February now.
Yeah.
But no promises.
Have you got your hat yet?
No.
Oh,
no, so I might have to bring it up then, I guess.
Yeah, you'll have to bring it up once you get it. I'll show you mine after we finish recording. But
I ordered a hat back in August.
Me too. I ordered it one day after Skyler, and I got mine before him.
He just got his this past week, and mine's still estimated for delivery in like mid-December. But mine's cooler in my defense. But in my opinion, it depends.
I think yours is better. I just didn't want to copy you. I didn't want to buy the same one. I liked mine because it has black and red and like gold accents, and that goes with a lot of stuff. So
and like mine's our birth year too.
Yeah,
I think, so.
Yeah. I wasn't alive I've got the 91, so.
I wasn't alive for that, but
which one? The 94?
I was born in August. So.
I was April, so I just missed it. Anyway, Anyway, happy Thanksgiving, everyone, or as Al Michaels would say, Happy Turkey Day. It is that time of year where we long for cold weather. We get it; it teases us, and then it goes away. Looks like it's going to be a warm Thanksgiving, but it's Florida. I'm used to it.
It's that time of the year where everyone steps outside and then puts something on their social media. Oh my God, it's Florida. It's way too cold for this.
Yeah.
And then it's are you not, why are you surprised?
I love the cold when it's like 62. It's like, yeah, man. That's real cold. I just don't understand. I mean, I do understand. We're not used to it, so it is what it is. I can't mock them all too much.
55 and sunny, no, maybe a slight breeze is like my perfect day.
55. Oh gosh, yeah, beautiful. Mm-hmm. Going to play golf in that weather.
Yeah.
Gosh, I dig it. Anyway, we've got a short episode since it is Thanksgiving. We don't want to take up too much of your time. We're actually going to skip the Jags. I know, and it's crazy to think about, but we're not even going to worry about the Jags.
No one got arrested.
No one got arrested. We survived the bye week.
No one got traded, right?
Trevor went to some...
Any TMZ worthy news?
No, he just went on like a nice vacation with his wife, and Christian Kirk was with him, and it looked like they had a good time according to their Instagram. But that's all the Jaguars.
How'd you spend your bye week? I mean,
I sat on the couch and I did homework, and Alyssa was over, so we were celebrating our 3-year anniversary.
Oh, congratulations!
So, yeah, it was really nice. We had some nice food and stuff, but we just did homework together, and I had the other games on in the background, but none of them were really that enticing to me, so...
I see why you couldn't drop your plans for me.
I had to get that homework done, dude.
Well, no, I meant the anniversary, but...
Oh, I could have bailed on her for that, but okay. She would have kicked my butt. Well, tell me about yours. Well, let's leave with that. Tell us about Sea Island.
Yeah, I went to the RSM Classic up in St. Simons, Georgia. St. Simons Island, I guess, to be technical. It's the first time up there in that area, Brunswick area. It's really scenic, really pretty.
Oh yeah.
A very low key event. I got there a lot later than I wanted to, but still pretty cool. I just walked the course. It's very natural. I felt like I should have been fishing half the time. Good drive. I tried some Southern Soul barbecue at a stand that they had.
Yum.
And they had this really good mustard vinegar sauce, and I've just been thinking about it for the past couple of days now. I only saw about 24 shots worth of golf. I walked like the front 9 by myself and while the production crew was pulling up everything, and then eventually the course kind of weaves back into itself, so I stumbled upon the leading group when they're on hole 16. I was like, well, might as well watch the end of the tournament. I was fortunate to go because Mark Blackman, the pilot for the PGA Tour, gifted me some tour badges, so I actually got to just walk around the scoring area. Didn't know what to do, how to take advantage of it entirely, but
you got to be up close with the golfers.
Yeah, they were like right there next to me, like they were hanging out with their family after the tournament, kind of, and I was just there.
I mean, hey, that's an experience that not everybody gets to say they had, so that's pretty dope. So mention it one more time for next time it's around, people might be able to learn more about it. The tournament that it was.
Yeah, it's the RSM Classic up in St. Simons Island at Sea Island Golf Course. They have a Seaside course and Plantation course, and they actually play both those courses the first 2 days, and then the final 2 days they just both play Seaside. And,
okay.
So that's how they get the field cut down, because it's not the strongest field, but it's a pretty big field, and yeah, they'll play both courses, so you can kind of see different variances of styles of courses and stuff and play. Because I walked Seaside. It was really scenic. Just right on the water. Marshes kind of interweaving in. We might have some pictures up later just so you can kind of get a better idea. But
heck yeah. Okay. Well, hey, that's pretty sweet. That sounds like a well-spent weekend to me. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic here, which is our Sunshine State Roundup, which is what we do every week. We're coming down to the nitty-gritty. The end of that is coming very soon. But, let's see. You go ahead and start things off for us.
Sure. I mean, we'll start off with we got USF and UCF meeting up. USF hasn't had a matchup since the 12th, since they lost to SMU 41-23. And then UCF is just coming off of a loss versus Navy. They lost 17-14 in a game in which Navy did not complete a single pass. They only had one attempt at that pass.
Good Lord.
Navy is now 8-1 in the Ken Niumatalolo era, which is the past 15 years, 8-1 in games without completing a pass.
8-1 without completing a pass.
That's 15 years.
That is pretty awesome. Didn't Florida lose to Georgia Southern when they didn't complete a pass?
Yeah, that was. But I think they attempted twice 2 passes.
Attempted 2 passes?
So
okay.
we at least defended 2 passes. I don't know what this Orlando said. And we weren't ranked 25 when we lost to Georgia Southern like this UCF team is.
Tough loss for the Knights there.
Say all you want about the Gators, but,
we'll get to them in a minute. Speaking of bad teams, the Miami Hurricanes played Clemson, the number 9 ranked Clemson Tigers, and it went pretty much as you'd expect. Clemson jumped out to an early 24-0 lead, win the game handily 40-10. It was just bad from start to finish. At least it was in Clemson, and they didn't have to worry about nobody coming to another game in Miami.
I guess we're going to move on to FAMU and Bethune-Cookman. And this wasn't much of a matchup. Florida A&M, a much better team, takes care of business 41-20. Florida A&M moves on to 9-2, and Bethune-Cookman is now 2-9.
FIU stinks. There's no other way to put it. So FIU in their past 3 games have been outscored by opponents 144-27. That is really bad. They only mustered up 6 points against the UTEP Miners, as UTEP takes care of business 40-6 in that one. They have one more game to try and get another win against Middle Tennessee this Saturday at 6. Florida Atlantic, speaking of Middle Tennessee, actually lost as well to Middle Tennessee. They lose 49-21. They are 5-6. Still clinging on to hope to become bowl eligible, but in order to do so, they have to beat Western Kentucky, who is currently 7-5 and only have 2 losses in the conference this season. So, going to be a tough one for them.
I'd be interested to see if there's been a Florida team to beat a Tennessee team this year, because Florida lost to Tennessee earlier, and you mentioned FAU losing to Middle Tennessee just now.
And I think that's really it for...
and then Vanderbilt beat Florida this past week. So.
And I don't think any of the other teams have played Vanderbilt or Middle Tennessee.
So congratulations, Tennessee.
Yeah. You got our number this year, Tennessee. You rascals.
The South Rise again.
So thank you guys for that. Again, we'll have one more next week. Maybe we'll go over the bowl schedule. We'll see. It doesn't look like a lot of the teams that we are rooting for or talking about here are really going to go to anything big, but hey, it is what it is. I want to get into something a little more that, well, you just mentioned it, and not great. Vanderbilt 31, Florida 24.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the numbers, Anthony Richardson, 25 of 42, 400 yards passing, 3 TDs, an interception, but you can look past that. I mean, overall, that's really good numbers.
I mean, 400 yards is good, yeah. I mean, that's way too many attempts for a college quarterback, in my opinion. I mean, I didn't watch the game, so they're probably playing catch-up or whatever, but...
So it was 28 to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 28-12. And they had to play catch-up. Yeah, and I had to do math like that because I can't do math in my head. 28-12, and they had to come back to make it 31-24. They scored 12 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and it looks like, we only had 19 attempts at rushing the ball. Which,
yeah.
I mean, when you can't run, you can't do anything. And you were mentioning what you're going to ask me about Anthony Richardson and, about him not taking off when he has the opportunities and what's going on with that. I don't know. I don't know what they're telling him. So, I mean.
Do you think it's something to do with draft stock? Do you think it's something to do with not wanting him to get hurt because they haven't found a proven backup?
Maybe they are looking ahead to Florida State, and also like they just pulled a scholarship from the Nice quarterback because he was rapping over some lyrics. So yeah, like you mentioned, QB death could be something.
I didn't see that. Wait, he was
Marcus Stokes
saying some.
He was just rapping
racial slurs,
but
in the rap.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what's being told. Is like, you got to be careful because we don't have anything behind you. It's like, at this point, why does it matter? We're late in the season. Like I mentioned last time I was on jokingly, like Vanderbilt was trying to get into a bowl. They always play us tough, and I've seen Vanderbilt beat us before, like down in Gainesville.
I guess we all just kind of, well, Mike and
Overlooked
I
it.
definitely just overlooked it. And I'm sure a lot of people did. And I remember,
I mean, Vanderbilt put up 41 against Hawaii, right? Was it 41 or so?
well, okay, remember
It's Hawaii.
It's
but,
Hawaii.
but they
one
had
of the
to
worst
travel
teams in
to
the league.
Hawaii. That's tough.
Sure.
But
I mean, that tells you where they are as a program.
They scored 63 against Hawaii.
And that tells you where they are as a program.
They're
Having
a lot
to
better
travel
than-
to Hawaii, that's usually a sign of you're bad.
Well, yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is like Vanderbilt's been a whole lot worse in the past. Where like
Sure.
they're 5-6 right now. I mean, there's been times where they're like 3 and like they only have 3 wins coming into this, and there's like their chance of winning a bowl game is non-existent.
Well,
So
we already saw last week. It was their first SEC win since 2019. I mean, it's
crazy.
It's been a tough decade, 20 years. I don't even know how long Vanderbilt's been around in the SEC, but it's been.
I'm
It's been
pretty
tough
sure
for
they're
them.
the oldest SEC team in the conference. They're,
Well,
they're
that's
the
tough.
home of SEC. That's why they're in the conference. I mean, the only team that was in the SEC like a while ago was like Tulane, but they're not like obviously they've been gone a while.
Yeah.
And it's not like my history is not precisely accurate. So
Yeah, but still, I mean,
Point.
we're looking at this now where with Vanderbilt winning that game, they have a chance to become bowl eligible, and that's something you don't talk about with Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
You don't associate them winning more than 3 games.
and it's very unfortunate for Tennessee, like with Hooker going out and his season ending the way it was. Like Tennessee had a really legitimate shot at getting into the playoffs. I mean, prior to this previous game where they were walloped hard, but I mean, I don't know who the backup is for Tennessee. I don't know how well he plays, but
I couldn't tell you who he is, but he's not Hendon Hooker this season.
yeah, exactly.
And Hooker's been the face of that offense, and it's going to be tough. But
I'm just like pulling it up or trying to pull it up, and the picture says like Navy Schuler. I don't know if that's the backup. You got Joe Milton, but the picture is there's no pictures of him actually on the football field. There's a picture of him and his dad on the bench, like tossing the football. And
oh boy,
here I don't know if you can take a gander at it from your angle, but that's they're just sitting right there. They're just saying
that's really awkward. Wait, what's his name?
Navy Schuler.
I was looking at Joe Milton the
So
third,
that
who's a senior.
So senior might get the chance just because he's a senior, and that
Oh boy. Regardless. Okay, yeah, this
It
guy,
looks like
this
he
guy's
was-
actually
yeah.
thrown a couple passes.
yeah, it looks like he came in afterwards. So, but I mean, Tennessee, I'm sure will still pull it off. But I mean, yeah, Vanderbilt has a chance to play for a bowl game now, and that's something that, like you've mentioned, they don't have that opportunity to talk about. Tennessee or Florida coming into this previous game hasn't been the best team, and so Vanderbilt took advantage of their opportunity.
Oh,
So
yeah.
good for them.
Yeah, and I'm going to come back to Florida in just a second. I do want to mention for Florida State, Mike isn't here for me to banter with, but I can still go back and forth here real quick. Louisiana. Whatever. It's not really, a game that I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going to happen. Is this a trap game? No. I knew we were going to take care of business. It was just a matter of, are we going to beat them down, or are we just going to, waltz, maybe get a few things here and there? No, they took care of business. The 2 touchdowns at the end were after the backups came in, so I unofficially count that we have 3 games in a row where we haven't given up a touchdown because, I can say that and no one can tell me no because
No.
it is what it is. Oh, dang. All right, you told me no. But, yeah, so congrats to the Noles. Obviously, the next game is the rivalry game, Florida versus Florida State.
On Black Friday.
Black Friday, so stupid. I'm sorry. I'm still upset that we have to play on a Friday. I don't like it. It's at 7:30 p.m. on ABC. I want to throw these out here for you real quick. A little comparison between AR-15, who people talked about preseason, Heisman.
I mean, I hyped him up a ton too.
Yeah, or saying that, he'll be first round easy no matter what. Tail of the tape. This was posted by Florida State, so obviously it's going to be a little skewed towards the Noles, but ESPN QBR. Jordan Travis, 6th in the nation. Anthony Richardson, 32nd. Both respectable. I mean, 32nd is nothing to scoff at. PFF pass grade. Travis, 9th. Richardson, 101st. Yeesh. Run grade. Travis, 47th. Richardson, 11th. 11th is really good. Big time throws. Travis has 19, which puts him at 22nd. Richardson has 17, which puts him at 35th. I say those numbers because it's only 2 off. Mm-hmm. So that's not that crazy. And then pass efficiency, Travis is 12th. Richardson is 73rd. Now, I'm not saying Jordan Travis is going to be a professional quarterback. I don't think he has the size. I don't think he probably even wants to. I don't know. Maybe he does.
Well, that first thing you mentioned, I think, is ultimately what got people excited about Anthony Richardson was his size. He's a big dude, and he's fast. He's strong arm. But, yeah, I mean, if you don't have what's going on in between the ears, to play quarterback, you can't play quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, he's 6'4", 232. He's not small. But like you said, Peyton Manning was so successful because he was so smart in between the ears. Mm-hmm. Some of these guys just don't have it. And I think we romanticize as fans, not just Anthony Richardson, but a lot of these guys that have the physical tools, and we forget about how much of it is a mental position. I mean,
it's gotten so much more mental too because the defense has gotten so much smarter now too. Mm-hmm. It's not like
look at Zach Wilson this past Sunday. Did you see his interview?
I didn't see the snippet. I saw a clip of the pass.
Yeah, he just
I didn't see any interviews, bro.
Okay, so there was a reporter that asked him a question because they lose. They only score 3 points. Mm-hmm. They lose on punt return for a touchdown against the Patriots. The reporter asked him, "Hey, do you think you let your defense down?" And he just cuts him off and says, "No." Bro, you didn't score a touchdown. I'm pretty sure you let down the defense in that situation. Trevor Lawrence, on the other end, who's had his struggles, as we all know, when he gets asked stuff about accountability, he's the first one to do so. Mm-hmm. Justin Fields, same thing. He went around after they lost to the Falcons this past week, said sorry to everyone, all the defense. He took accountability for it. Maturity is a huge thing. Mm. I'm not saying Anthony Richardson's not mature. Mm. I don't know that much about him, to be honest. I think he's really good with fans from what I've seen. He takes time to go sign autographs and stuff like that. That's a huge thing. But does he have the football IQ? I don't know.
I don't think it's – I think he's talented. I think mentally he's, locked in. It's confidence. Does he have the confidence he can do it? And – he just has to have people keep telling him that he's capable of doing this. And do
you think it's the offensive coordinator?
I have no idea. Because
I don't feel like the offense is really built for him right now.
Maybe not.
Or they're telling him to do things that.
They're probably telling him be more of a pocket style passer, which hurts him because when he takes off, he gets huge chunks of yards, and then there's also the fact that it opens up passing just in general because we used to do it all the time with Tim Tebow. He takes one step forward, the defense
collapses.
They're college kids.
Yeah, they get scared. They think run immediately, and then you throw it over the top.
Those plays work in college because you're playing college kids. Those plays don't work in the NFL. You can't run the option like we saw in the NFL.
Yeah,
versus
it's like running a zone defense in the NBA.
So
it's just a mess.
Hopefully once we get, I don't know, we'll see next year. I think he'll be good if he comes back, and I think he needs another season because he can also make himself some more money. But I don't know. I don't know what he has planned because he also can still make some money this year probably. He's not going to make as much as he was anticipating.
So we talked about it last episode about him declaring. Mm-hmm. And Mike said 60-40 that he's leaving. I said 80-20. After this game, I want to take a step back. I don't know.
See, my mindset has kind of been that, he's from Gainesville. He loves the Gators probably more than anything. That's why he wears number 15 as a quarterback.
Sure.
So, now that we have NIL deals, he's not missing out on much money probably. He's probably going to make more if he does stay and play another year. And then, if he does have a really successful season in Gainesville, he's going to be treated like royalty. And, he can have success in this league. He can have success in the conference. He just needs to be himself at quarterback and no one else. There's no one else. No one can tackle Anthony Richardson when he's galloping down the field and he's just. I want to see that in person. I'm probably not going to get a chance to watch it because if he leaves, he's going to be a backup in the NFL and probably not get many shots. Well, once he gets some proper coaching, he'll probably play okay. But
I don't know. I don't see him taking the Kyle Trask route. I see him taking more of the Felipe Franks route. I think they try. I feel like they convert him when he goes to the NFL to like a tight end.
I was all right. Yeah, I can see what you're saying now. I just was a little confused at first. Yeah, I was like Felipe transferred and then Trask stayed. I didn't know if you were saying
no.
another quarterback coming in would take over his spot. So, I think with NIL deals, I think he can make a ton of money. His family's in Gainesville. He can have a good life if he plays well this year. And he can make himself more money if he stays.
I think it's worth it for him to stay another year.
Yeah.
But again,
it is worth it. I mean, the NIL makes it really interesting with that aspect now because you could have players that really love the college game actually stay because they're not losing out. Whereas, you have players who love the college game, but their at-home situation just doesn't allow them to stay another year in college.
Absolutely.
Even if another year doesn't hurt them or not. You never know because, you could get hurt as a senior back in the day and you're done.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm going to rattle this off to you real quick to see what you think. So, obviously, Florida State is coming up, and I want you to tell me what you think I'm going to answer my own question. How do you think the Gators can beat the Noles? I think the Gators beat the Seminoles if, number one, they have to stop the run. Trey Benson has emerged as the leader of the Florida State rushing attack. He has 854 yards on the season and has proven that, our committee of running backs is great, but he is above all right now. The Gators are allowing almost 200 yards on the ground per game. Not good. So if they can stop the run, that'll be a huge thing for them. And second, if they can force Florida State to kick field goals, which they can do.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be some trickeration on the Gators side. I think that, you come into a rivalry game, all bets are out the window. I mean, it is what it is. I think that they are going to double down on the receivers. They are going to, jam at the line, do everything that they can possibly do to try and slow down this offense. And then when they have the ball, I'm meaning the Gators, there's going to be some weird voodoo stuff going on to try and win that game.
Yeah.
Pretty general statements, but would you agree with that? Stop the run and some trick plays?
Yeah, that, like I mentioned when we talked about Vanderbilt, maybe they were looking forward a week ahead, and maybe they have stuff up their sleeve that they're just kind of waiting to use. And, yeah, so maybe we open up the playbook a little bit, have people run around a little bit more. Etienne's pretty explosive. I
expect Etienne to be the difference maker in this game.
Yeah, well, he's always kind of the difference maker. So I think you just need Richardson to run the ball, get some more.
Yeah, Montrell Johnson is leading the team in rushing yards, but I feel like Etienne's more that impact guy.
Yeah.
So give me a score prediction. Mike,
34,
I will say
31.
Mike. 34-31. Who?
Florida.
All right. Mike said 35-14 FSU. I don't feel.
Why? So
because he's Mike,
he's Mike.
You know how he is. He did the same thing with Miami.
This is the best Florida State team ever, in his opinion.
I look at it this way. We sat here and we talked about Miami. He was the one saying, we're going to trash them. I'm the one who was being like, well, it could be a close game. We win 45-3. Syracuse. He's like, I think we can run away with that one, especially with their QB on the mend. I was like, you never know. It might 38-3 is the final on that one. I feel like Florida State and Florida. Well, I think Florida will hang around. Maybe the first 3 quarters. I think Florida State ends up winning the game. I'm gonna go with not as high scoring as he did. I'm gonna go 33-19. And I know it doesn't sound like, oh wow, Keith, you're just saying, But I'm saying the first 3 quarters, it's going to be like 24-19 or something. And going into the fourth quarter, it's going to be like, dang, Florida State, what are you doing here? Take care of business, because Florida State, in all intents and purposes, should win this game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're a much better team. They're 16th ranked team, and we're trying to be 500. I mean, if we lose this game, we're gonna be 500. We're trying to be a little bit one game over 500.
Right. It's gonna be interesting to see. I always love this time of year because we call it Florida Hate Week or Florida State Hate Week. The banter back and forth isn't the same as when I was younger, when all of my classmates were Gators fans, and I was like one of like 3 Florida State fans.
Well, and then also like I sent a message in our Twitter group chat. Florida State and Florida met up 12 times in the 90s, and not a single matchup, or like in every single matchup, both teams were top 10.
Yeah, that's just awesome. That's just awesome.
That's crazy.
I mean, what an era. When people talk about like, oh, Georgia's the next new dynasty or whatever, we'll see. Come talk to me when you finish like the way Florida State did in the 90s. From like 87 to like 2000, Florida State was immaculate. But I won't bore anybody with that. Let's wrap this baby up, shall we? I've mentioned last week about the 904 pop-up and the light boat parade. That is this Saturday, starting at 4. Go do your small business shopping. Get some of your Christmas gifts out of the way, because
Coastal Indoor Golf.
You go to
business.
Coastal. They're a small business too. Go get some local gifts, please. Just
We're doing like a grip sale, kind of. Like if you buy a whole set of grips, it's going to be on sale.
okay. See, that's a good one. I might even have to do that. But I wanted to end with a local shop. Well, it's not a local shop. It's actually a chain, but just opened up in San Marco, which is predominantly local shops. Bitty Beau's Coffee. So this is an idea from 2 parents. They have 4 children. They have one of them that they had was born with Down syndrome. They decided, with 80% of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities struggling to find jobs nationwide, they decided to open up a coffee shop that creates a path for people with disabilities to become more valued, accepted, and included in everyday communities. So they originally opened in January of 2016 in Wilmington, North Carolina, and they employed 19 individuals, all of them with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It's an awesome cause. It's an awesome place. It just opened in San Marco. This is, God, I don't know how many. They have 23 locations. First one in the state of Florida, here in Jacksonville. Go check them out. Actually, Alyssa says she went today. Coffee was delicious, beautiful inside. Support, I won't say that they're not local. I mean, they are not
they're
local.
A good cause.
But there are only 23 locations. They may be stretched out across, but they are still a place that you should give your business to.
It's the ideology.
Yes, absolutely. It's all about inclusion, and this is a great place. I'm very happy that we have one now, but it's just nice to see some positive stuff in the news for once. But yeah, that about wraps things up. Glad the Jags survived the bye week. Glad you and I survived the bye week. We've got a tough one against Baltimore coming up this weekend, but everyone out there, enjoy your Thanksgiving. We appreciate you listening. If you're listening after, I hope you have a lot of leftovers. If you're listening before, I hope that you get everything that you hope for on your dinner table. We'll end it with one thing that you cannot go Thanksgiving, or you can't go without on Thanksgiving.
Sleep. I need like a food nap.
Food-wise.
Well, I'm talking like when you eat all that food, you have to nap it off. You can't
right.
just not. You can't just like stay awake and like.
I've never napped on Thanksgiving.
Really?
Never have I.
Man, food naps are the best. I mean, if we're going food, I'm gonna go like sweet potato casserole with the marshmallows on top.
Good choice. I like that one. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be boring because I've actually gone a couple of Thanksgiving without other things, but I'll just go with turkey.
Well,
I love turkey.
Yeah, obviously.
Hey, a lot of people like ham too, so it's more.
That's Easter.
That's Christmas and Easter for me. Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for listening. Episode 80 of Dimes on Duval. He's Skyler Chase. I'm Keith Manzi signing off, and we'll catch you next time. thought you were gonna say something.
I don't know. Where's Mike?
I love you, Trevor Lawrence.